I'm sorry. I'll introduce myself more elaborately next.
All right. It is the hype, everybody. It is Analytical Fanboys, a monthly media cast where one member picks a piece of media and then we talk about it. I am your host, Boingo Ryder, and with me I have two other hosts, Buster and Snowcone. Say hello, Buster and Snowcone.
Hello,
Hello.
Buster and Snowcone.
Hello, Buster.
You did the joke. You did
Yeah.
the joke. Ha ha, so funny.
We did it, boys.
We did the comedy.
Yeah, like this show, which is a comedy show. Technically a comedy show.
Well, this month we are talking about Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and it was brought, and we were told to do this by Buster. Buster, what is Dragon Ball Z Abridged?
The Dragon Ball Z Abridged is one of the most popular abridged series. It might have popularized the format, but you could say that the same of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I think it just took the format to new heights. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged was the first, as we know, as an abridged series or an anime abridged series. And then Dragon Ball kind of like, there was other abridged series, but then later Dragon Ball came in and kind of propelled the abridged format to new heights. And it was created by three people in particular. I know there was a couple more people, but the three people who stuck around for the entire run, Kaiser Neko, Lenny Pator, and Takahata 101, who all provided voices for characters in the show, along with writing the scripts and like editing and stuff. Well, Kaiser did most of the editings.
With help by Lawrence, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, Moscow X, who voices the main character, Goku, and also Gohan. Now, why I picked this is the commentary series for this show recently ended, and it kind of feels weird to have DBZA end again. And I'm just like, you know what? Let's keep it rolling a bit. I have an excuse to talk about it, and I just thought, we all have read Dragon Ball or watched it. We all know the story. We all know the characters. Let's see what the most popular alteration or AU of Dragon Ball is like.
Yeah, I think that's the first thing we can talk about is anime abridging.
Yeah.
Cody, did you watch any anime abridging growing up?
I watched this as it came out.
Yeah.
I would watch like silly videos, AMVs, and stuff like that.
Oh, you know what? You probably got shared around people our age, around our groups. It wasn't DBZA, it was a different Dragon Ball Z joke dub thing.
I've watched a few of them, but
Yeah.
I always remembered that like the first couple of episodes, like me and Jake and shit we would quote while playing games and stuff back in the Disney. But I don't know. I've seen some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff since then. I've seen that one series that's, it's not necessarily abridged. It's the series where it was like, we don't just do whatever you want, and it's like absolutely insane.
Ghost Stories?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. That's more of a parody dub. That's a bit different, because abridged, you can just edit around like it. You're not limited to lip flaps. You can make your own lip flaps. And yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Abridging was a big part of American anime fandom for like several years.
Yeah, like arguably started by Little Karibo, who has admitted he's not the biggest anime guy. He just likes a couple. And like, his Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged really caught on, and you had people like Moscow X making Naruto Abridged. What else?
And you have the creators of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, the founding members, so to speak, all had their own projects because except Takahata.
Takahata did G Gundam.
He did G Gundam? I knew one of them did Gundam. Okay. So Lanny Pator did a abridged solo of Yu Yu Hakusho solo. He had other people helping him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kaiser Neko did Lupin the Third, which has gotten copyrighted hell to back, so you can really only find it on the Internet Archive.
And Takahata also had a project. And they have told the story, and so we're just like quoting and reiterating that they just hung out and were like, what if we did Dragon Ball Z?
And like Lanny already did like the Neighborhood Cluck productions of the movies, but those were just the movies. This was like the full-length show that they wanted to do, and they did it, and it's arguably one of the most popular YouTube series of all time.
Yeah. That's something. It's like they are one of the few internet groups that I can just look at and go like, y'all haven't you all have not shat the bed.
Yeah, like even we thought they did like a couple months ago, but it was all like just a root, So
It was all just a bunch of shit. We don't need to go into it. They probably don't even want to go into it ever again. But like, you can't say that about everything. Like Cody, you can't say that about Rooster Teeth.
Yeah. Oh god.
Well, does that count as an abridged series? That's like their own thing.
That is their own thing, but it's like they are an internet group who made things for the internet, and they shot the bed. It's just they are not, they have done shitty practices with their employees and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it seems like everyone who's left TFS has left on good terms. Like they still collaborate every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
Like the gaming Let's Play channel that they did. Those guys left, but they're still chill, and they promoted them during the commentaries that influenced this entire episode. And yeah, I guess we can start talking about the actual show. We're gonna go season by season. I decided, and we're gonna mention. If any of us watched or remembers any of the specials, we can mention them in between seasons.
So you mean the movies and specials that I watch because I was neurotic and was like, I'm gonna watch it all.
Nah, it's fine. I watched a good chunk. I watched a good chunk of the ones, especially like the ones I like that I already knew I liked. Like we'll get into them. Season 1.
I found a playlist. Just watch that.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah, because in total there's 69 nice episodes of the main show, but then there's a bunch of like. There's Kai's that recap things that are basically abridged. It's like crawl up your own asshole. And then you have the movies, which abridge movies and specials. And then there's like even sequel shows, like the Dragon Shorts and Heffel that are ongoing, but we're not going to get into those because those are technically sequels. We're just going to cover the main core that ran from 2008 to 2019. So season 1. This was a lot rougher than I thought, but it got better than I thought, like when it got good,
I mean, even they'll they agree with that. It's just like this was rough, but we were learning, and it got good by the end.
Yeah, like I thought they were over exaggerating when they were like, we struck gold with Nappa. No, they actually did struck gold with Nappa. Like Takahata's voice, his performance, the jokes they wrote for him. Like Nappa is like the golden child of like early DBZA. He's the poster boy for that stuff. It's why they kept the Ghost Nappa gag for a bit until they realized we don't need this. We're good enough now. Because it's like that was kind of their crutch for a while. And then season 2 onward is like, we don't have our crutch anymore. We gotta and now we're improved, It's like it's like going from like modern controls to classic controls in Street Fighter 6, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, we always bring it back to fighting games. But that's another thing. It's like that I think is like really valuable with DBZA, just as a creative, as an independent creative thing, of just make it, get it done, put it out in the world, and share it with people. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I appreciate that as just like a lesson they embody and taught people through their actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like you could argue with like the X minutes videos, they're still doing that shit. And it's like, yeah, I love how they learned as they went, and like everyone's gonna do on YouTube. But they did achieve their full potential because the people saw the potential in them, Or internet humor was at admittedly lower standards in the 2008s. So yeah.
What are your thoughts on season 1 in general, Cody?
Fuck you.
Cody not having it today.
How?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to break this down into seasons like that. I kind of just like rolled through it. I didn't realize...
Yeah, it's fun to watch it.
I mean, like arcs.
So I guess that's just like it's a Saiyan saga. It's up till Vegeta.
Sorry. Yeah,
that's
all right.
fine.
So I appreciated how Vegeta's in his anime colors. I thought that was funny. Or the manga. What was that? His orange.
Oh, the original anime. Yeah, I think that's just from the actual show.
Yeah, that is from the show. Because they didn't really use corrected. Yeah, because Kaiser said they didn't use corrected footage until season 2 when they got the Dragon Box footage.
Yeah, that was actually how the anime aired originally.
Yeah. Yeah, they used the red Vegeta for like that. That was like in the anime. That wasn't even in that wasn't an abridged edition. That was just
and like I was talking about there is a lot of flaws, and that's kind of, I look at that as like, you can see them growing of like where'd the scatter come from?
Yeah. Also,
Takahata's favorite joke.
yeah, where did the scouter come from? But I was gonna mention they kind of like counteract what an abridge is supposed to be by keeping in all the filler initially, which I'm like, I get it because it's like, oh, you think you have to recap every episode, but like it was much this pacing moved much smoother when they got rid of all the filler stuff. And like admittedly it could lead to good jokes, and like with stuff like Halloween making the filler its own specials is much like a nicer pacing and just a nice like it's there if you want to see it. But yeah,
That's the thing. It's called abridging. It's more of like it is more of a collage of comedy of taking this one thing and cutting and pasting it back together to tell jokes.
yeah, because it's even people like to say Dragon Ball Z Abridged is the best dub of the show, which I don't agree with, but it's just a good show on its own. It's a good parody show. And like it's all started with jokes. It all started with rough jokes, and some of those jokes works, some of them didn't. Especially all the sex jokes, they made me groan because they're just not well good.
They got better, but they've done good sex jokes by the end.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially with what they did with Krillin. I don't want to go too ahead, but the Krillin.
Well, yeah. But yeah, it's just the Saiyan saga with Raditz and Nappa and Vegeta and
all the guys, and yeah, and
I liked the running jokes with how they used Raditz as an insult after that.
As like the bare minimum.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure did upset some Raditz fans, but
all two of them.
Yeah, but like they upset a lot of. It's like they of course they're gonna upset people with like the jokes, and it's like they've kind of talked about how they've kind of contributed to the Goku bad dad stigma, which they kind of deconstruct in the final season, but we'll get to that later.
I think if you're gonna lay the blame of Dragon Ball Z fandom at their feet, that you're stinky human.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you're a bad human. I'm just saying you're stinky.
Yeah, it's like they're just trying to have fun, Like they didn't really intend for these jokes to like go anywhere or like mean anything about these characters. It's just this is our take on Dragon Ball Z.
What are some of your favorite jokes on the early episodes, though?
This is probably a bad favorite.
That's fair. I'm more just trying to go like, hey, let's dive deep into this miasma of media.
I don't know why, but the freaking like joke from this is technically going into side content, but Dragon Ball Z Kai Abridged, the recap, which is how I usually prefer to like if I'm in the mood for DBZA, I usually rewatch Kai because he just like I think it's just it's faster and it's like it keeps all the best jokes sometimes usually. I just liked when Raditz reveals that like Goku is his brother, and it just cuts to all these characters and it just you see Shyamalan he doesn't even say anything in the Kai version. He just there staring at you. That's just one of the most memorable jokes to me. What are some other good jokes from like the season 1 things? I guess Nappa saying it's a Pokemon, I want to catch it, like and Chaozu being like I'm Chaozu, and it's like that's a iconic one.
Yeah, anything. I am hilarious, and you will quote everything I say. There's a reason that is.
Yeah, because it's true. It's just true. That's not even a joke. It's true.
There's a reason that's a line every single Takahata character says.
Yeah, every single one of them. Every single one.
Nappa, Super Kami Guru, and Cell.
Yeah, he was really 3 for 3 on like funny characters in these shows. Or just like big hitters with the audience, I guess we can move on to season 2 now, because like season 1's kind of like it started. There were some rough jokes, but
Yeah, and we've talked about some of the voice actors. So in season 2 is when they really start hitting their stride.
Yeah,
Takahata is just great, wonderful.
I like Masako's Goku because like it leans more towards the Japanese voice actress's portrayal of the character, but it still has its own like childlike whimsy to it,
Yeah. And he's able to vary it enough for Gohan. What were you about to say, Code?
Oh, I was just gonna. I mean, yeah, like I think their version of Goku kind of like does maybe not perfectly, but like pretty accurately like capture the silliness of him while just having fun with it as much as possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's also just a
Being a
good
Krillin fan makes me a little sad sometimes, but other than that,
Uh,
yeah.
I mean, it's a good Krillin.
Yeah.
Lanny Pator does a good Krillin.
Yeah, although
Yeah.
my personal
Yeah.
favorite Lanny performances are Piccolo and Vegeta. I still say Lanny is my favorite Vegeta ever, like just in general. Because like yeah, it's a parody dub, but dang it, Lanny's Vegeta is one of my I don't know why, just that performance just really like yeah.
Something about like the sass he has, like the confidence, just like kind of really like sells it. Like I forget what moment. It might have been jumping ahead a little too far in that, but
Yeah, you
um,
could jump, you can jump.
where he like who is he teleporting? He might be fighting from, but he like teleports behind him and just like says something, and I was just like, I'm like that wasn't even funny. That was just kind of like nice. Like what the fuck? Like
Yeah, there's a lot of good badass lines they have throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
yeah, I like the
Just
bald joke that Nappa makes because I always loved like Nappa and Krillin when I started watching Dragon Ball Z as a kid, and I never made that connection like necessarily on purpose until later. And I never really counted Piccolo as bald, and I always loved like my favorite Z fighter in like Dragon Ball. I guess like the fighter team. I love Tien. I always loved Tien like so much. I had like
yeah.
a model kit action figure of Tien. I had like a really cool action figure, like a few of them of Krillin. Nothing ever of Nappa. They never show Nappa love like later.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, cause I really think this kind of popularized Nappa, cause he's just kind of like he was just kind of like a jobber in the original. Like he has some moments, but he was mostly a jobber in the manga. But like here, they really give him a lot of time to shine as like an I.
And I think that's partially just because all the DBs, I'm pretty sure I am putting words in the creators' mouths. Hold on a second, let me get a spoon. That they have the benefit of hindsight. They saw
Yeah.
what Dragon Ball did and Dragon Ball Z did, and they were like, all right, we like these characters. What can we do with them more that the show and story didn't do originally? So
Yeah. No,
let's
they
give
talked about.
Tien more. Let's give Nappa more of a personality. Let's do these things to make these characters more interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they talked about that, at least in the Totally Not Mark behind the scenes retrospective, which was a really good retrospective. Go watch
Yeah.
that. I guess also like while we're on Tien, skipping ahead, I do love his moment with Cell, like at the end. Like that is in the original show, but the way they did it in Abridged was still really cool.
The way
Like
they did it in Abridged is what it felt like watching for the first time. Like for me, I guess I don't know.
yeah, now I get because
Like
like
in your mind, you're just like, yeah, fuck you, and then like in that, he's just like, yeah, they just do it.
Yeah. It is at some moments DBZA is pretty much what if Dragon Ball Z, but they're allowed to say fucking shit.
yeah, yeah, especially towards the end of the Cell saga. But we should talk about the Frieza saga.
Fucking
Frieza's great.
one of the best Friezas. Period.
Yeah, Little Karibo's
Yeah.
Frieza, very good, very high quality. It wasn't
Also,
even supposed to
so
be Frieza.
yeah, he auditioned for Ginyu.
Yeah, but he did do a Frieza voice, and they're like, "Hey, wait a minute."
What
This
I
way-
love about their writing of Frieza is that it is so consistent and so well done that out of all the characters they wrote for DBZA, Frieza feels the most like you could just take those lines and put them on original Frieza.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely could, like, especially with how sadistic they make him be. You know?
Like, genuinely, the counting the cliche of the heroic speeches is one of the most chilling villain moments ever.
Yeah, it's
Not
funny.
even just from a comedy or anything, just like genuinely, like, I have done this so many times, I am keeping a tally.
Yeah,
I mean it's definitely good. I don't know about one of the most chilling villain moments ever.
I'm being
That's,
hyperbolic, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
I get it's good.
It is
saying,
just
like,
a
I
really
mean,
good
ever?
bit of writing.
A
It's a
super
good bit of
chilling.
writing.
Yeah, you could say that without
Fuck
being like,
off. Get
this
off
is
my
sliced
dick.
bread incarnate, and it's not
I'm
bad.
gonna
I won't
toast your
argue that. I'm
buttons.
just saying. I know. I'm just saying it's silly. I'm plenty hyperbolic. I was just like, It's just like, whoa, you're really going in on this one.
Yeah, you're really sucking their dicks.
Oh no, don't say it like that.
Oh, sorry,
Don't do
sorry.
that. How dare you? No.
We suck our own
No,
dicks
yeah, I
here
mean
around.
it kind of didn't feel like I was even watching like something that wasn't normal for Frieza, other than
Yeah,
like how
it really
much he was
feels
throwing Monkey
true to his
around, which he did
character.
originally. He said he would do that.
Yeah.
Um,
They turned up the slurs.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
There's also just a lot of fun, good moments. This is when season 2, the Saiyan stuff, not Saiyan, the Namek
Frieza,
stuff is when
yeah.
they really, when Kaiser Neko really ramped up his editing, and it got really good.
Yeah, especially helped that he had like better footage to work with. So, yeah. Also, I love all of Frieza's goons because they're already pretty cool goons in the manga, but in the abridged, they just ramp up their just personality.
yeah, they really do.
So much. Like the Ginyus are funny. I love the use of Toku Sentai, and then Zarbon, especially. I love abridged Zarbon. He's one of my favorite characters. He's like, maybe stereotypes are bullshit.
Is it Jace the Space Australian?
Yeah.
Any time, like almost the entirety of me knowing that character, I would only like say that, like it's like Space Australia, like all the fucking time. I would love like that joke.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Space
That felt
Go
more
Space
nostalgic for
Broncos.
me because it
And
was
also
also
the
kind of like
wrestling
a
joke.
neck break thing to see like 15 years ago, and I'm like, neat.
Yeah, it's been some
Cute.
time.
But yeah, because I actually hadn't seen like I think any part of the Cell Saga other than like clips later or anything after that, like anything leading up to that.
Yeah.
Trying to think of any other big things with the Frieza stuff. There's just a lot of fun little moments that just carry over and just do interesting things.
Yeah.
Jesus, brain's farting. It's just full of like nitrogen and
Methane.
methane. Thank you of the thinking about the actual noxious chemicals that come out with a fart.
Hey, no problem. I've been around you when you're thinking anyway.
It's a very dangerous thing.
Anyway, what else of season 2 did we like?
It's interesting to just. Oh, you were talking about filler earlier. They focus hard on how they did filler in season 2.
Yeah, like they just like there were like opening gags with like I remember the guy, the little space guys who like invade the ship and then they just all take their pills and die. That's a really memorable joke. If only for its darkness.
Or the fake Namek. The fake Namek was one single episode, but it was hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
A lot of good. Oh yeah, we finally saw Dr. Briefs.
Oh yeah, and he has a really funny voice.
One of the funny interpretations that they went with, like, what if we just made him an absolute monster?
Yeah, oh man, especially in the Broly movie, where he's like, "Oh, the queer agenda" or some bullshit like that. It's just like, "Oh no, oh no."
Yeah.
And then, like, basically by the end of season 2, they just straight up with the Super Saiyan Goku versus Frieza fight. They just straight up being like, "All right, this is just Dragon Ball now. It's just pure Dragon Ball Z with some jokes." And then the muffin button comes in to remind you, "Oh yeah, this is an abridged." The muffin button. What a classic.
Yeah, what was it? The scene where like I had forgotten but appreciated re-seeing some of the sillier jokes, like when Frieza comes out of the water and that fucking crab falls out of his ear. And like for 2 seconds he's like, "Hey man," and he just like falls off screen. Dumb shit like that.
Yeah, a bunch of editing jokes they do, little editing jokes, really make up just really make it stand out from other abridges.
I think it's just they had experience, they had the time, and they wanted to put that effort in. And I appreciate them for that.
Yeah, I guess now that we've talked about half the show, what are you guys' favorite abridged movies from DBZA?
Was I supposed to watch the movie?
No,
well, just from your memory.
If you
I
remember
never
what,
watched an abridged.
Ah, okay. Well, then me and Boingo will just talk.
Like we don't do that already.
Yeah. Boingo, what was your favorite special or movie from?
I'm pulling up the playlist I use so I can double check.
I personally like the cooler one.
Cooler's good.
Yeah, I already liked Cooler, so it's like that kind of strengthened my love for Cooler. Just the actor they got for him was really cool, and he got some really cool lines, and especially when he goes like full fifth form Cooler. That's like, yeah, this is.
I mean, that is one of the funniest lines of just like somebody pick up that phone. What? Because I called it.
And the way they edit it into the like intro of the movie, I think that's what makes the joke.
Yeah,
you know?
there's a lot of good funny bits like that. Yeah.
Also, the Broly movie is a good finale for the movies, I'd say.
Broly one's good. Lord Slug is top notch just for some of the editing gags they did.
Yeah, I love the one where it's like the guy just keeps running and then getting kicked and running and getting kicked.
Mm-hmm. Cool, like you said, Cooler. Return of Cooler is also good.
Yeah, Return of Cooler is just, they did not give a shit, and honestly they made a better movie for it.
Oh, because there's a great joke in Return of Cooler where Vegeta just keeps getting punched in the dick.
Yeah. And also just I love the premise of Return to Cooler of like everyone's just on a vacation.
Oh, you know what? I've seen clips of the dick part.
Yeah. Keeps punching me in the dick. Why?
Yeah, I've seen that.
And also I just love the Kais. The Kais are just well edited comedy stuff. Like I
But
really
can we talk about Mr. Popo.
Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about him in season 1. I was gonna talk about him in season 1. But
I actually like love that character too.
Yeah.
And like I remember even like back then I was just like, oh, not Mr. Popo.
Not Mr. Popo, just Cody. He's like that like protective mother of like all these childhood characters getting butchered.
It's funny. It's funny as fuck. I will say it's funny. Yeah. Like the longer it went on, I accepted and loved it. But
well, because they talked about this of the reason why they just made this Popo this omnipotent giant god of a character is because he was able to take on Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks single-handedly and just block everything. It's just like, this guy's fucking powerful as fuck. What the hell?
Yeah. I just love like when Shenron comes out and he's like, oh, Lord Popo. I'm like, what the fuck? It's just funny. It's funny what all that implies anyways.
One of my favorite Popo lines is "Welcome to the room of infinite bullshit" from Kai 3.5.
And like we've talked about it, but like Dragon Ball Z Abridged does a lot to just endear some of these characters, whether it is the abridged version or the canon version.
Yeah.
To people to make them go like, oh yeah, that character is really cool. Popo is a prime example of that. Of just like in Dragon Ball, he just is kind of a background character. Like, hello, I'm here. I am Popo. In Dragon Ball Z Abridged, he's fucking Popo.
Yeah, he is a creepy guy, but like in a funny way where it's like, oh, don't mess with him. Especially like the episode, I guess we're moving on to season 3, the episode 31 where he just kind of stops the entire conflict just by himself. That was a really good gag.
With Garlic Jr.
Yeah, because they just made Garlic Jr. one whole episode, which is probably for the best. Although they did do another take on Garlic Jr. with Kai 2.9, which was an interesting episode.
That's also the episode where Krillin gets hit by the IRS.
Yeah, IRS. Yeah, that episode 31. Yeah. Oh. Okay, now we're on to Cell Saga. This is half the show basically because it's 30 episodes, and Dragon Ball Z Abridged is 60 episodes. So, yeah, if you don't like what's happening in Cell Saga, you may not like most of the show. Now I've heard critiques of like how they handled Gohan's character. I disagree. I thought it was an interesting take. And honestly, what I'm like not even pissed about. I'm not even pissed. I'm just like I'm more interested in Android 16. I love Android 16 in Abridged. He is one of the best characters.
Yeah, I had to bust out my original SH Figure Arts 16 and enjoy him again because that's like definitely my favorite Android, hands down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always loved Androids anyways.
Yeah, you were talking about this, Boingo, but like Dragon Ball Z Abridged really brings out the potential and like awesomeness of like a lot of these side characters. To like that was like, oh yeah, they did do that in the original, or hey, they did a cool thing, they did a cool twist on that. And
like a lot of what I think it is a lot of the characters, unless you're Goku, have subtle characterizations.
yeah, and they brought them out more fervently in these shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that is kind of how Krillin is a lot, but then he grows out of it.
Yeah, especially like early Dragon Ball, not Z, Dragon Ball. Krillin was
Yeah.
kind of like a jerk ass.
But he grows and he learns and all this kind of stuff, and like, and here's the thing, like, we can point to and say like, oh, they treated characters bad. It's just like, this is all the bits of Dragon Ball turned up to 11. Yamcha is a bit of a loser in Dragon Ball, so to make it funny, they turn him into an extreme loser.
Yeah, I mean, like,
How
there's the
much
entire
would they really
Yamcha
change,
crater.
though, for Yamcha.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Cody was like being all protective now, and now he's just like, now he's out for blood.
Which is funny because I did like I really loved Yamcha and Dragon Ball, and one of my favorite things to do I forget what game it was, but there was an online Dragon Ball Z game a couple years ago around when I was at UNF in like 2017 that I played it.
Xenoverse?
Xenoverse 2?
It might have been or Xenoverse, yeah. I would play as like just like Yamcha, or I would like get like the something to let me play as the character, and I would just like beat ass and like always try to finish with Wolfang fists just for it to be funny. But I don't know. It's still funny. I mean, like, yeah, you know, I mean, that's him. That is him.
Yeah. And like the
I think-
androids, they do like again like they speaking of bringing out more characters. The androids, they really do enhance their sibling dynamic really well.
It's partially there in the original, but again, it's subtle.
Yeah,
And they were like, just let's put a magnifying glass on it and just go and just make it funny.
yeah, and that's like what DBZA at its best is, in my opinion.
And I think honestly, that's just a reflection of fan culture. Of hey, fans like these characters. I want to talk about the character I like. Here's all the cool things about it, and you're joking around.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite bits of season Boingo?
It's whenever it's the roller coaster of Vegeta. It's the I am the hype beatdown. I am good again. Hubris beatdown. It's just that arc of Vegeta of just it's great.
I want to be a Super Saiyan. I wanna. That's one of my favorite lines.
Sit-ups, push-ups, and plenty of juice.
Yeah, just and that scene really cemented like, yeah, Lenny's a top tier Vegeta.
Because I think that's the thing about Vegeta is in actual Dragon Ball Z, he is calm, stoic, badass, but he does so much failing in the show that you want him to reflect on it in some way, and he doesn't really. But in DBZA Abridged, it's like, no, he pisses and shits and comes himself whenever he doesn't get his fucking way.
Yeah. Cell is I love the creepy. We had creepy Cell, then we have prepubescent Cell, then we have perfect Cell. All voiced by Takahata, and yeah, that's really good. Like Cell is one of the best villains already in Dragon Ball, but the way they write him there is just yeah, this is good shit. Like from his creepy origins to his comedically perfect ending, you know. Yeah.
I mean, it's also it's out of anybody out of the DBZA cast, Takahata shows a lot of the most range.
Yeah, because he does all sorts of characters. He does goofy, big, buff boys, and he does like old, wise guys. I'm not the best voice actor, if you can't tell, but and he does flamboyant, perfect characters. You know?
Yeah, but it's the fact that he's able to go to these extremes with it and be consistent. It's like this is just me. I'm filleting right now, stuck in the goddamn cock. Takahata is one of my favorite people of the group just because he is wild and chaotic and has a creative energy I really look up to.
I mean, that's why you're a VTuber, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. One of the main reasons I am a VTuber, it is like two main VTubers that gave me the inspiration to do this. It is Takahata and Randon.
Yeah.
And like, I wouldn't have done half the creative shit I've done in the past few years if it wasn't for Takahata. So like, I really look up to all his stuff that he did in the show.
Yeah, just oh man, his little swan song with like him singing Frank Sinatra. That's
Yeah, that's funny.
I
That was
love
a really good.
there's a great joke in the Kai version.
I shared that with you like weeks before I even decided to do this.
Where he sings "My Way" by Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, that's unironically one of my favorite bits. Like just a good cover of "My Way" by Limp Bizkit in general. I think I'm like that little 20-second cover. I prefer it over the original. I'll be real.
I mean, it's not hard to prefer something over actual Limp Bizkit.
True. Uh,
I'm Floridian, I can say it.
yeah. Actually, speaking of musical moments in the final episodes, the cover they did for the Gohan's Awakening.
The music all throughout season 3, because they actually started commissioning music for it.
Yeah.
It's just like that's again, they're upping the production, they're upping what can be done, could be done as independent creators.
Yeah.
And it's very aspirational.
Yeah, it's the best way to show growth, like as a YouTube. Like it feels like DBZA has kind of transcended multiple eras of YouTube, like of like the beginnings and to where it is now with these big lavish productions, you know,
Yeah.
and or just how like a YouTuber grows from like these humble beginnings to like, yeah, we got musicians, we got all these guys voice acting, we even got like
we got 3D models.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's more of the sequel shows.
No, they use a 3D model in History of Trunks.
Oh yeah, History of Trunks. Yeah, with the opening Doctor Who bit. Yeah. History of Trunks,
which
is
really
also
good. Funny. Just the fact that like all the Trunks stuff is Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's just little fun goofs and gags. There's a lot of just like that's another thing. They did take some jokes from the fan community. It's not just pure fan community jokes. But it's also just observations of, hey, wait a second. The thing on Imp Cell's crotch looks like his beak mouth. Is that also a mouth? Let's do a joke about that. And it's like,
solar flare. Yeah. Yeah, they just put like so much effort, especially in the later videos, where it's like, yeah, I can understand why they got burnt out and didn't want to like stop and like end it on a high note.
And why the last few took a fucking year to make.
Yeah. I love that joke in Kai 3.5 where it's like, oh, Gohan, get him! What? In a year.
There's also just commendable editing of just taking out the 3 fuckheads from the Cell games.
Oh yeah, because they just just straight up hated those characters and be like, nah, we're good.
But also, Satan's fantastic in it.
Oh yeah, Satan's just straight up Mr. Satan, and I love that. Where it's like, yeah, I do like the little references to Fidel because I'm a big Fidel shill. Not big Fidel shill, but like just like
for like the 20 episodes she was good.
Yeah, for like the first 20% of Boo arc she was good. That's a whole other story we can get into.
Why wasn't Videl in Super Superhero getting to go beast mode with Gohan?
Or at the very least, because in the anime, they made her like they gave her like a Kamen Rider 2 to her Super Saiyaman's Kamen Rider 1 form for like an episode. That should have been like more stuff. Like I don't know, whatever. Now we're just complaining about actual Dragon Ball. Let's get back to.
What's the more appropriate response to watching Dragon Ball Z Abridged than complaining about how Dragon Ball Z fucked up?
Yeah. Darn shonen anime. We love it, but we also critique it.
The androids though.
Yeah, androids good.
We talked about 16, 17, and 18 are fantastic.
Yeah, I already mentioned how they really enhanced their sibling dynamic in general.
But just so much more personality. They actually wrote a good romance between 18 and Krillin.
Yeah, that was really cute. It wasn't just like out of nowhere. It's like they planted the seeds for Krillin's like in love infatuation. And especially love how the first episode of season 3, it's him like looking at artificial love and then him getting more ironically organic love throughout the show. That's just like I don't know if that was intentional, but that's just good like storytelling.
You know what? That is good writing. Good job, Team 4-Star.
Yeah.
Good job writing.
Good job writing. You put pen paper real good.
Yeah, but you type those keyboards real good.
Stroke those keys. Just again, a lot more personality, but it's not necessarily new personality. It's personality was there that they just enhanced.
Yeah, the magnify. We keep talking about the magnifying glass, but like it's true. Yeah, I think we covered all 3 seasons.
We did cover all 3 seasons, but there's a lot of little bits and elements like Korn and Yajirobe
Yeah, in the
getting
movie.
a gay romance.
Yeah, in the movies, yeah, like if you watch the movies in order, there's a subtle, not even a subtle, it's a straight like in your face story arc, subplot of like Yajirobe and what's the other guy's name?
Korn,
just like getting romantically involved in just the trials and tribulations, and it's one of the most wholesome shit ever. They even did like at last movie Broly, they did a little animation of them like at their wedding, and it's like that's cute. Yeah.
It's just, and that's also another thing of like, it like jokes like that feel authentic and it's nice.
Yeah,
it's not just at the expense of anybody.
Yeah, especially because Kaiser is part of the LGBT community, and so he knew like he didn't want to punch down. He just wanted to like at their level,
But that's the thing. It's like nobody. The only people they punch around to like treat like shit is assholes, and that's like yeah it's nice.
Yeah, exactly. They clearly like it helps the show age more gracefully than other internet productions.
Yeah, even though they will cringe at the fact that they use words that are like
mental slurs, we'll say.
Yeah, like they use the R word, but like at the time everybody fucking used that word. It's not.
Yeah.
You don't blame them. It's just like everyone was shit back then.
Yeah.
We're better now.
Not everyone, but
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, and Cody, have you ever heard of the Boobits?
No.
Okay, because I'm not gonna go to
stuff with Boo.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay, that's the thing we need to talk about. They said they were going to do a season 4 of Majin Buu, but they were just so tired of A, writing, they were burnt out, and B, dealing with copyright bullshit. They were like, we're just canceling it. We're not doing it. Sorry, guys.
Actually, before we talk about Boobits, let's talk about the copyright shit. Yeah, that sucked. And I feel that because man, Toei still hasn't gotten any better. It's why I use screen caps for my Toei Tokusatsu reviews. Because it's just I don't want to deal with the bullshit about like using footage.
Honestly, I think the copyright bullshit that Team 4-Star suffered under and other Abridged series suffered under dramatically worsened American anime fandom culture for years.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Because in Japan, in anime fan culture, there is a sense of community and camaraderie with things like Comic Cat and Dojin content and fan content of that way that it's just part of how anime is talked about and enjoyed and all of that kind of stuff. And in America, we had that for a bit. It was abridging. Abridging was our version of these Dojin stuff that was just like, it was fan made, fan created.
You can even say the same thing about video essays.
Yeah, but like abridging was at a heyday and a lot of people were trying it, and copyright bullshit just nuked that to the ground. And I think we're worse off for it because legitimately half of Dragon Ball Z Abridged is just pointing a finger at power scaling nerds going like, you're fucking dumb, stop it.
Yeah.
And we haven't had that in 5 years? And look, their natural predator has disappeared. It's gone extinct. And now all their power scaling nerds are overgrazing the field.
Yeah. And also we have a bunch but there's all other things, but we don't have to
I'm using that as an example, but like abridging was a healthy, creative way for the American anime fan community to engage with itself. And because of copyright bullshit, we don't have that, and I think we're lesser for it.
Yeah. Like, I wish there was more Abridged series, but I fully get why there's not. And of course, jokes haven't aged well, but that's gonna happen with every comedy show, I hate to tell you. Just like, there's gonna be a couple jokes where it's like...
No, Ace Ventura Pet Detective is totally fine today. Just don't watch the last 20-30 minutes.
Okay.
It's a joke. The last bit of Ace Ventura is not good.
Yeah, okay.
I don't remember what it is.
Very, very, very dated, horrible, bad trans jokes.
Oh, I will not watch. If I will, I'll be watching with my cringe goggles on. Anyway,
Just the sequel's much better in terms of that, but like it's not good.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I guess we can talk about a bit about boob bits and explain what those are. So totally not Mark. Speaking of video essays, he is one. He does a lot of analysis.
He is a video essay, a living sentient video essay.
Yeah. You could say that. He does a lot of like manga and anime reviews. Dragon Ball is how he got his start. So when it was time to do his big Dragon Ball Z Buu Saga review, what he did is they commissioned Team 4-Star to do segments of the Buu Saga and abridge those. Just moments, not full episodes, just little 30-second, here's what our jokes would have been, or here's a moment and here's our take on it, you know? Like Vegeta's sacrifice, or Super Saiyan 3, or like jokes about Dragon Ball Super, or just what Videl and Gohan's relationship would be, which was really cute. That was my favorite part of
Has the best joke of Videl going like, so you're super strong and super powerful and super fast and you can dodge anything, right? Yeah. And it just cuts to the clip of Videl flies around Gohan's head while he's the Great Saiyan Man just spinning around, and she's just like, oh, nice. You wanted to get close to me. Okay. That's cute.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the voice acting really hasn't skipped a beat in those boo bits. The ending I'm a bit conflicted on, but I kind of understand like of that ending of the Boo Bridge where it's like, yeah, this is leading into Super, so of course you're gonna like make a lot of Super jokes. I mean, I don't even have like a strong connection to Super. I just feel like it was kind of like easy jokes, but like
but it's also just meant. To me, the Boo Bits just felt like all the scrap ideas that they had that they thought they could use for Boo and never got a chance to.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Like that's fine. Similar to what they're doing with BoJack and Hiffle.
Yeah.
Jokes they had in mind for BoJack. They never did the movie, and they were like, well, let's just put BoJack and Hiffle and do some of those jokes.
Yeah. I actually have not seen much of Hiffle, so that's completely new to me.
Yeah, BoJack's and Hiffle. Hiffle's fun. I enjoy Hiffle.
Yeah, I know they did a little stop motion Christmas song, and that looked cute.
By the way, Cody, Hiffle is remember the two ogres that Goku runs across while he's doing the Snake Way thing?
Yeah,
they do the Saturday night. Yeah, the Germans. They basically run a afterlife rehabilitation center for all the DBZ villains, and it's basically a sitcom where Cell and Frieza get into shenanigans against each other.
Man, that kind of.
Oh, Cell is roommates with Super Kami Guru.
I don't think it does. Frickin' does. I don't think Takahata does all the voices in Hiffle.
No, he does Cell, Super Kami Guru, and I think he does.
Okay.
Does he do Raditz?
I don't know. I think Raditz was someone else. I think I'll check. We're getting things wrong. Oh no! Let me look up Hifflecast.
Jesus. But yeah, no. Oh, we should talk about the. Okay, you know what my favorite running gag is?
What?
It's when anybody of the Z Fighters, it's outside of the buildings, they're fucking, and they just do the power beam, and it's just like, Jesus, that's hilarious. It's so good.
Yeah, okay, I can't. No, it is. You're right. It is Takahata doing the Cell voice. I don't know why I thought it wasn't. Let me check who Reddit's voice is. No, not voices. No, who is voice? Oh, Lenny Pator.
It's Lanny. Lanny's doing Raditz
and Hiffle. Yeah. Yeah. That's. I think that's all I got to say on Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I'm glad I picked it. I'm glad we were able to re-experience this time of internet history. Like, cause this basically is internet history. Like, you may want to deny it, but like, this is basically just, hey, this is a classic part of internet, like just anime history lexicon. You know,
yeah.
Words failing me, but you get what I mean.
Words are words, bud.
Yeah, words are words. It really did like influence an entire generation to like try voice acting. Because a lot of voice actors did get their start with like Newgrounds and abridging stuff. Like, speaking of Raditz, Masako did his own little Raditz project, and Kevin Afagini voiced Raditz there, in that like Dragon Ball RR project. And you know what he's doing now? He's voicing Mario in Super Mario Brothers Wonder, taking over for Chris Miller. So it's like, yeah, people should get their Star fan projects, and they get to like grow their talent. You know?
Mm-hmm. And like they were able to get some big, like the fun part is they were able to get bigger voice actors to do bit parts every once in a while, because some of them, not all of them, were like, yo, you're doing something fun and funny.
Yeah,
I want to be a part of it. And it's just like, that's fun. That's, again, part of anime fan community is just lost because copyright bullshit gets in the way of making fun things like this.
Yeah. And like a lot of DBZ voice actors have approved of it. Not all of them, but like most of them.
There's just one big giant asterisk on that statement.
Yeah. But Chris Sabat, who does a lot of anime voice, approves, so you know it's all good. And I'm thinking about that time, but I don't want to get pissed people off. I'm thinking about the time that they actually like got into actual Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I've seen that clip. It's really funny, but I'm sad it's not legally available anymore.
There should be. Someone should. Okay, so in the when they were redoing the dub for Dragon Ball Z for Kai, they got to the Buu Saga, and in the Buu Saga there is a moment where they show a movie dramatization of the Cell games where Hercule wins, and as a gag, they got the DBZA cast to voice it as like a, hey, this is part of the fan community. Someone ratted them out to Toei, and Toei said, no, don't do that. Get them out. And so they recast it. But the clip leaked on the internet, and so it's available for people to watch. And there are DBZA jokes in it.
Yeah, there's DBZA voices, there's DBZA just in jokes, or just Dragon Ball jokes in general. It's a great clip if you can find it. I'm not gonna tell you where to find it. Just look up Team 4-Star DBZ or some shit. Yeah, it's a great clip, and I wish it actually did air on the original Adult Swim like block, and so it was still like aired to like the masses.
Yeah.
You know,
it's still just fun and neat.
Yeah, it still exists like in some way. So yeah,
I want to edit it back in. That's what I want to do. So you could just have it be how what should have been in the episode.
Yeah, because it's a great clip, and it was good. It would have been a big full circle moment if someone hadn't read them out. I'm not gonna say who. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for our discussion of DBZA Abridged, I think. Is that it? Do anyone want to wrap up with some final words before we move on to what we're covering next month?
No.
I appreciate what they did, and you know what? I'm actually really enjoying some of their new stuff that they're putting out. I love their tier list videos.
Yeah, they're always on my watch later, those tier lists.
They have some really good ones. Which cereal mascots would they fuck?
Yeah, that one I really want to watch.
The one they released today, the day of recording, is ranking live action anime adaptations, which is a lot more insightful than comedy, which is good though. Balanced diet, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested to check that out. Just because if only live action anime is just a fascinating subject. So Boygo, you're up next, right?
I am up next.
What are you gonna make us watch play for next week's or next month's Analytical Fanboys?
We're gonna read something because we've been doing a lot of watching.
Yeah.
And I'm getting what I want y'all to read. So, if you are aware of comic books right now, there is a book that is blowing the fuck up that everyone is loving, which is Daniel Warren Johnson's The Transformers.
Ooh.
I am a huge fan of Daniel Warren Johnson, so I thought, hey, why don't we talk about one of the books he did that is like one of his lesser talked books, because a lot of people talk about Do a Powerbomb, Beta Ray Bill, Wonder Woman, Dead Earth. They talk a lot about those books, but I want to talk about one of my favorites of his.
Is this what I think it is?
Probably. Which is the book, the 8 issue miniseries. We're gonna read Murder Falcon.
I thought it was gonna be Extremity, but I'm okay with this.
Murder Falcon is the story of a dude who's from a metal band who basically has to fight eldritch abominations invading Earth with the power of metal and his new friend, Murder Falcon.
No, say no more. I'm down. I love Daniel Ward Johnson. I thought it was gonna be Extremity for a second, but like, no, Murder Falcon's also good.
Murder Falcon.
I'm sold. I'm sold.
Yeah. So we're all 8 issues of Murder Falcon. It's not that much. We can read it at our own pace and do all the things. Also, Daniel Warren Johnson has some gorgeous comic book art.
Yeah, he's probably one of the best comic book artists working today. I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm excited to read this. Are you excited, Cody?
Yes.
Yeah, this does look a bit Cody core. So, with like all the robots and guitars. So, yeah.
And literally, the dude's named Murder Falcon. It's just hilarious.
I'm so excited to find out what the hell his deal is. But like, yeah, I'm very excited. I love me a good Image Comics book. So next month, Murder Falcon.
But in the meantime, you know what? If you like this podcast, follow us on podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those kind of places. You'll find 2 different podcasts up there right now. We have Modular Components, a weekly fuck around, find out. We just hang out and chat podcast. And this one, Analytical Fanboys, monthly media cast, as I said earlier in the show. You can also follow us on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. You can follow me on social media, Boingo Writer. Links in the description, and you can follow Buster unless Buster wants to specifically plug anything.
I'll plug, follow my YouTube channel. I'm doing a lot of cool YouTube things. I'm working on a Persona video. I don't know if it'll be out by now, but like, it's happening. Persona 3 video. We move.
Get happening. Turn into a door. Snowcone, Cody, do you want to plug anything specifically?
My name is Snody Burke, and you could follow me on never_robot on Instagram. I'll post pictures there sometimes of various things, although I think I have a backlog of photos. I keep an eye out for that if that's
Yeah. So that's kind of it. Any final words anybody wants to say?
Onomatopoeia, Piccadilly, Scrimblow.
Rizgyat. No, I'm not going to end with that. No.
We are now.
Team 4-Star are the ultimate Riz Lords.